All right, everyone. Welcome to This Week in Frax. I'm your host, DeFi Dave, here with Capital K and Sam, as always. And this week, we are doing a completely new section. We're doing a new series with our new partners at Metronome. They recently gave us an education grant to help spread awareness of the opportunities and their protocol that they offer, especially their Frax collaboration. So thank you, Metronome. And in this section, we call it Metronome to the Dome. Sam, take it away.
Hey everybody, welcome to our Metronome to the Dome section. Today we're going to talk about smart farming. Smart farming allows you to choose any one of the many collateral types that Metronome allows. Today, obviously, we're going to be using Frax, and I'm going to choose that, and I'm going to choose all my 500 Frax that I have. After that, I'm going to choose the loop that I want to set. In this case, I'm going to go all the way up to 4.3x for my loop. That will give me an extra $1,650 worth of leverage on top, in addition to my $500, pushing my total deposit up to near $2,200. And this is going to increase the amount of yield that I will receive on this deposit up to 26.7%. So just shows you everything that's happening here. I can set my slippage tolerance to be kind of low, which I think I should. And it'll show my health factor. It shows liquidation here, but really you should take into consideration over here. This is kind of small, but it says if Frax goes below 96 cents, which I don't think it will, then I will be liquidated. But if it doesn't, then I should be good, and I will earn 26.71% APY over the next year using these cents. So let's fire off this transaction. Okay, my deposit has been successful. Paid a bit of fees in Ethereum, but now I have a position. And I can click on this. I go back to Synth at the top. Now I can see that I have wrapped this position 4.3 times. And I have this much collateral, 2150 of collateral, while borrowing $1,649 worth of synthetics. Very cool. So very easy to use this system, and it's something that we're going to be covering. So I'm going to be checking in to see how this collateral grows over the next few weeks. So go check out Metronome, and let's get back to our regularly program for this week in Frax.
Welcome back, everyone, to Flywheel. I'm your host, DeFi Dave, here with Capital K and Sam. That was Sam just finishing up our first ever Metronome to the Dome, our Metronome educational initiative, and helping promote and spread awareness of their partnerships and opportunities with Frax as well as the Metronome protocol. Shout out Zane, shout out everybody there. Thank you for supporting us. Wait, so guys, what did we have coming this week? Are you sure we didn't have anything?
I mean, we had sFRAX, which
Just sFRAX.
Yeah, just sFRAX. I mean, nothing too big. But it launched, and it launched to big numbers as well too. Within the first 24 hours, we're coming up on that 24-hour mark. We're up to 34 million in supply. So let me just pull up the screen here, and here we go. So let me make this a little bit bigger. 34.8 million sFRAX supply with a current APY of 777. It's very lucky.
Nice.
Just one day. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was at 10 huge. Initially. It was at 10. At about 25 million, it was at 10%. I guess the threshold has been passed for it to drop down to 7.77%.
So I wanted to bring up a tweet that Stable Scarab had. Thankfully, he went out and he built a Dune dashboard, and here it is.
I love the evolution of Stable Scarab from Threader to Dune Dashboard Wizard.
Getting that Dune dashboard out quick, which means that it's very popular, right? So it's trending right now. 10 people have saved it. I think it's a little bit behind. I don't know if we can update it, but it shows 8.14%. I think it's maybe like an hour behind. But 143 holders at the last point, with the largest holder of sFRAX holding $5.4 million worth of the yield-bearing stablecoin.
That's a nice yield for that fella.
Yeah, very cool. Actually, very cool. I'm very impressed with how clean it was rolling out, and just no issues. Just
The
everything kind of like
the
flowed in.
Frax way.
Yeah, and now we have several other additions that are being added. This just happened while we were filming this, but Michael inside the Telegram chat has provided this OP.
Oh,
Ooh.
oh, loop de loop.
Yeah. So this is a crvUSD sFRAX pool, which I guess is a harbinger of things to come. Apparently, we will be able to borrow against sFRAX and borrow crvUSD against it. And so we'll need this to sell back into it and loop the whole thing. So very exciting. It's going to be really cool.
Whoa.
But it's empty. Somebody needs to come along and see this pool. It's got 0 in it. So if anybody has sFRAX and crvUSD out there, this will probably be a nice pool. It probably has some rewards as well too.
Allegedly.
I think probably. Oh yeah, the gauge is up right there. You see the gauge is already up.
Like, what's your guys' impression of all this? What are your thoughts on sFRAX?
I mean, we've been talking about it for so long. Frax v3. It's the culmination of not just like a year of talk, but just like the devs just like grinding behind the scenes just to get this out. Like it's super exciting. It's super like I think everything about sFRAX and the Frax v3 rollout has been communicated very clearly. From the governance post about like okay, like it's FinRes, the nonprofit public benefit. It's a holding entity of like the yields to like how it all works. Like the mechanics of it all are very clearly stated. Like where this real yield. It's like farm to table yield. It's like fresh
farm to stable.
Farm to stable yield. So
for me, Sam, what this represents to me is that the Frax team could execute not only in the digital code space but also in the human meat space. Right? Like this is their first product that actually had an off-chain component. And it showed me that they can also execute off-chain, which I think is not a lot of people could do. So that to me, this is the first product that represents that.
And think about how much the team talks about like we want to exist only on chain, fully on chain, fully on chain, or fully on chain stablecoin. And it was only until they were like absolutely forced to, because the team had a ideological shift saying, okay, we need to find a way to peg to the risk-free rate, whatever way that is, which is ended up being RWAs. And so like what is the middle ground to being still completely on chain but also accessing that RWA? And it's the system that they set up that's still within their philosophy and ethos. Does that make sense?
A little bit, yeah. Yep. I mean, in how they set it up with FinRes and being very nice and clean, only one source for all of the yield coming into the DAO. It's very interesting. Yeah. So apparently, Sam came in and said that the Frax DAO had added 50,000 into the sFRAX contract, and that this would provide a above 5.4% yield all the way up to, I believe, $52 million. So we're more than halfway there on the way to hitting that.
And the march to 52.
Yeah. But what's cool is if people come out of the vault, the yields can go back up, which is pretty awesome.
Wait, I'm sorry, explain that. So the cap is 52 right now? Or
so I think they add funds week on week. Is the way that I understand it. Just like the sfrxETH.
Yeah. There's like a 1 week rolling period, right?
Yeah,
but you're saying 52 is the first week's this cap, and then after that, everyone above gonna wait a week. Okay.
Yeah. So this one, they've added 50,000, and then over the next few weeks, they will it'll turn into essentially what happens with sfrxETH. So, I think they can here. Okay. So Sam said, we deposited 50K Frax this epoch to kick things off. So, and I guess the epochs are weekly as well too. So 52 times 50K is 2.6 million annual yield at this rate. And anything at or below 26 million Frax deposited into the vault earns the cap rate of 10%. And then as more Frax above 26 million is deposited, the APY goes down until next Wednesday, when there'll be new yield deposited into target the IORB rate.
Understood.
Yeah.
Whew, I made the cap.
So do you like? Do you have any clue about what's being done here? Like what sort of like strategies are being used?
Right now it's like 5% treasuries, so probably treasuries. I mean, we heard Sam last week. It's like when it's like a risk-off environment, the RWA component comes in. But when it's going to be risk-on, then it becomes, more decentralized and less RWA dependent.
So it looks like there is some sort of spread. I mean, the IRRB rate is at 5.4, but the 1 month treasury rate is 5.58. So might see more coming back to VEFX. I know that Sam hinted at that in chat this week, saying that frxETH or VEFX is going to play into the frxV3 strategy. We had someone ask if they were going to be able to get boosted yields with their VEFXS for sFRAX, which I would make a lot of sense, right? Like,
fair.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if it could be like the curve way, where everybody gets a flat 5.4%, and then you could like boost up to 10 based on how much VEFX you have.
Yeah, or what if there's VEFXS for bonds?
It's very cool as well too. So the price of FXS responded accordingly. It was up 10% today. Today's Thursday. We'll see how it does tomorrow. But the market likes it. Everybody's happy.
Fucking finally.
Yeah.
So sick. We're now only down 80%. Hell yeah. I think another cool thing I saw someone posted was about actually curve and crvUSD, as it becomes almost a pseudo way to get sFRAX yield without holding sFRAX, because you just every time the loan is taken out to create crvUSD, CRV gets paid. And as people start looping this thing, you get a ton of revenue for CRV coming from crvUSD because of sFRAX. I thought that was pretty interesting.
It's a very symbiotic system.
So how fast do you think we can get to $1 billion is really the question.
$1 billion, back to a B.
So here's what my question is. Right now, I think there's about 170 million or some number around there that is non-protocol owned Frax, right? So these Frax would probably want to come and earn some of this yield. So there's a cap there, right? And about 30 million of them already here. So I would say 20%, if not, is already hanging out in the sFRAX. So for us to increase the Frax supply itself, I think like the AMOs need to go to work. So the Frax USDC, did you guys look at the base pool? It got completely rebalanced. Now it's 50-50, but the TVL is like 125 million. So like it got smashed hard in terms of TVL. And then the Frax supply itself, let me see. I haven't checked the current Frax supply. Sam, did you check or no?
Oh yeah, it's unchanged. Yeah, no change yet.
Really? There's no change in the Frax supply itself? Oh.
Yeah, still unchanged. So that must mean there is some excess that needs to be bought up before we can go higher with the supply.
Oh, for sure. Okay.
But I will say that the curve rebalancing back to 50% is very interesting. I thought that was like, from a market dynamic, that's going to be huge for liquidity, because we had been sitting at what, like 70-30 for months.
Yeah, forever.
And it wasn't great.
I was sweating. I was sweating bullets every day. You know that Pepe when it's just like sweating?
Yeah.
Just staring at the imbalance. Yeah, that was myself every Frax check. And I think it came in exactly the right time, as Sam just said, is because now everyone can come in and get Frax freely, like, and without worry, because initially you probably had to pay a tax for it. But
so like very good rates for anybody that wants to just do stablecoin farming. There are very nice rates on the Frax base pool. Again, if you take a look at the base rate is like 4%, and then you can deposit into Convex. And let me check here. I'm gonna just check 1 second. I'll let you know when I find it.
Yeah.
Here we go. Convex staked Frax base pool. What do we got here? 11. Oh, base 8% with a maximum of 11%. That is incredible, actually. That's super cool.
At $125 million. Yeah,
yeah, 125 million. So anybody who had been put off and wants to just keep money in the base pool, it's actually like really profitable now.
And honestly, you could keep it in the base pool and then go LP it into like another meta pool, that another stablecoin meta pool that you feel okay with. That's like double.
But it should, like in theory, like if the market is efficient, the Frax base pool rate. So here it is on Convex. I can go over there. So it's projecting 7.7. So it should track pretty much 1-to-1 with stake Frax, I would assume, because the stake Frax product and the crvLP product are the Frax base pool product are like really roughly similar in risk profiles, and it should be almost like the stake frxETH vault and then the crvLP. These are the two things, right? So stake frax, the sFRAX vault is the like stake frxETH vault, and then we have the LP, and they kind of like balance each other. So they really should stay within a couple of percentage, maybe like, I don't know, half percentage point all the time. Yeah,
I think so. But back to your question, Sam, of when are we going to be able to get it to 1 billion in sFRAX? I think it's going to take a long time because the AMOs need to go to work, because no one can mint Frax right now, right? Only the AMOs can mint Frax.
Yeah.
So that means all the AMOs needs to start going to work and
turn on those engines
Frax out there. Yeah, the pool needs to go imbalance the other way, 70-30 USDC and Frax. And then from there we can start minting more.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see.
Yeah, but we should be able to scale up pretty quickly, I think.
It's just the missing piece.
Exactly. And the faster we scale up, the quicker we hit CR 100% as well too. That's the other big thing that I think that we'll be looking forward to.
Oh yeah. Thank God, I cannot wait for that.
Actually, are there fees on sFRAX? No, right? It's 100% yield directly to, right? Okay, that's what I thought.
Exactly. Yeah. I think there's probably a spread. Like the FinRez is probably making a spread between like what they're making on the 1-month treasury bills or 3-month treasury bills versus like what they're paying on the IRB.
It's a non-profit.
But it's a non-profit, and all that would come back to VFXS.
Right.
Yeah. Or
minus admin costs.
Or to bolstering, sorry, right now, not to VFXS, to bolstering the collateralization ratio.
Oh, I see. Okay. So it's not going to the sFRAX folks, it's going into the treasury.
Well, there must be a spread that they're making on top, right? Because there is, I think there's a 30 basis point gap between the IRB and then the 1-month treasury rate. So it's negligible. I mean, it's not huge, but it is something that may provide maybe $1 million or $2 million a year.
Cool.
Kit, what was the last on the last Frax check? Like, how's the collateralization ratio doing?
92%. 92%.
It's just going down.
Yeah.
Wait, it's going down.
Yeah, I mean the market. We have a lot of volatile assets, in the bit. So we have a big bag of CVX and CRV, obviously, right? So.
Oh yeah, and CRV is just like. Oh.
So what is this? This is 800. So there's 800 total with locked liquidity of 122 million. So there's like 60 million that needs to be made up. But if we can increase the supply, that will reduce the collateralization ratio. So I think that's the end goal here, right? Because it's going to take a long time to make 60 million. This is a couple of years, but if we can drive the supply back up to like 10 billion, a couple of billion, that's
makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier to recoup that.
Yeah, because we generate more revenue. You're saying with the bigger size.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think there's just more fees across the entire ecosystem, right?
More fees, more stables.
But
more velocity. Yeah, go ahead.
I just think it's really cool. It's really nice to see this finally out. We are just full steam ahead, right?
Like, yeah. Okay, I'm going to say something that could be dubbed as a negative Nancy, but I actually want to see sFRAX scaled down. I want to see how we survive when it comes down as well too. As people aren't staking, how well is the pipes to like get everybody's Frax back out there?
Should be. I mean, it's immediate. It should be fine, right? Like,
no, it should be fine. But
I mean, this is what Frax's specialty is: the scaling down as well as scaling up.
Yeah.
I think the question then just becomes is like, what's the liquidity on the other side as people pull out of that sFRAX? And we know that the liquidity across all the exchanges, especially if you're using aggregators, is really good. And for FraxCheck, we might have to switch to an aggregated swap instead.
I did.
We did that a while ago.
Yeah, we did that because the pool was so imbalanced. If I smashed it with 100 mil, it was over.
What do we have next on the docket outside of sFRAX and this week in Frax?
I mean, sFRAX was the dominant thing this week. We have a couple of other posts that came from. We had Thor that had a really nice post about sfrxETH that I'm pulling up right now, where he essentially was saying that even though we're in a bear market, frxETH TVL continues to increase in ETH terms, and it's now sitting at 269,000 ETH. Obviously, if you listen to FraxCheck, you would already know this. But thank you, Thor, for sharing that information out.
Thank Thor. Shout out Thor.
Yes. How are we doing in the governance? Anything new there, Sam?
Yeah, there was a couple of things. So there is a Spanish-speaking proposal that was to create a Frax Finance Español 2024.
Arriba. Le Frax.
FraxGod.ETH, right? Apparently, he's going to be meeting with the Costa Rican president soon and wanted to get a couple of tips from the Frax team about how he could best present Frax to them.
FraxGod.ETH. That is a commanding name.
It's nice,
and he has a llama to boot,
Yeah. So I think this is actually really interesting. I mean, we don't have a there's actually, look at all these people that came in. There's 20 comments that came for this. So FraxGod must be doing a great job of pushing this information out through his Spanish speaking channels. So there was also a proposal by Chuck Beard, which we talked about a couple of days ago on This Week in Frax, about the unlock crvUSD Frax. And Nader is still essentially telling him that, we draft another proposal because this is for the VSTA governance token, not the stablecoin. And so it should be going back up. We might see a redemption there.
We just might.
Mm-hmm. And then also we had another rage quit request.
Another one.
Yes.
It just doesn't stop. Everyone's
well, this was based on the last one, right? So through that exchange, now we're going to have a rage quit with a 0 fee on this one for the VST. This is actually the governance token of Vesta, and so they need to wind it down because they're going to essentially distribute all the remaining treasury assets to the VST token.
0 fee.
Yeah, I think VSTA is their governance token. VST is their stablecoin.
Yeah. And then lastly, we had a governance proposal to add USD plus Frax base pool to the FrxShares gauge controller. This was
USD
done,
plus.
Yeah, so this was done by overnight.fi, and they write that USD plus is a DeFi product that offers the opportunity to invest in a diversified basket of stablecoins. The main goal of USD plus is to optimize yield generation by allocating funds across various yield-bearing protocols and platforms in DeFi. So they're asking for a GRI Frax base pool gauge controller.
Oh,
wait, is that right? Is that a mistake?
I thought GRI was didn't we have those guys on
Gravitas?
Yeah, it is Gravitas. It must that must be a
Ooh,
copy pasta.
Come on, guys. You're hitting the
copy
big
my homework, but change something, okay? Oh man.
Have you heard of these guys? I think I've heard it overnight before. Oh, here we go. I have seen these people actually. Yeah, this is on Optimism, I believe, and so they're using a mixture of like ETH and then Aave to create like delta neutral stable coins. They call it real yield. They have like 23.
It makes me really sleepy. Overnight with the colors.
Here we go.
Yeah. It's USD. Pretty. That's a fat TVL though. They could get to that.
What's their TVL? Oh, 6 million.
No, 26 million.
So they're earning a 10% yield on Optimism on average. They on Arbitrum as well. 7% on Arbitrum. 10% on ZK Sync. But I believe most of the TVL is on Optimism and Arbitrum.
Wait, how did they get to 26 million?
I think that's across all their products as well too.
Oh, it's probably like liquidity and stuff.
Yeah, because they have this USD plus, but they also have like DAI plus as well too, and then they have USDT plus. So like USD plus is, let's look at the collateral backing. So it's like USDC, it's delta neutral USDC, which is like a mixture of ETH and some other stuff that they make delta neutral. Or wait, no, is that right?
That sounds really weird.
Maybe I looked at it a while. Yeah, it is West. So like, look, they have this like ETS Aave. So they're using Aave and Velodrome with USDC and WETH to create this. And then they're also using the OP token as well to create like delta neutral positions that create these like quasi stable coins. And then they're farming with it.
Yeah. That is cool.
Yeah. So I came across these guys like last week or 2 weeks ago, just looking at them, and the yields seem pretty decent, right?
Damn, look at is that like 4-digit APY? Is there a comma there? I haven't seen a comma in an APY in so long.
2000. What is that for? I don't know what OVN is.
It looks like a governance token.
Yeah, it's probably a governance token.
But 23 million and decent high yields through Beefy. So
shout out Beefy.
Yeah. Very cool. More stuff to check out, and thanks guys for putting out the proposal. That wraps it up with all the Frax stuff and governance. This week we now have a very special segment with Liquis, who is coming on to tell us everything about their Convex for Bunny. We're super excited, so let's get into that.
Let's go. And this week we have on for our partnership feature a very special guest, as you can see. He's not just any swimming Pepe. He's the Liquis Scholar swimming Pepe of Liquis. Thank you so much for coming on, Mr. Scholar.
Thank you guys for having me. Super excited.
Yeah, and let's get right into it. For those who are unfamiliar, what is Liquis and like what are the opportunities that people could find on Liquis?
So basically, Liquis is, in very simple terms, it's the Convex for Bunny. So everyone who is a little bit active here in the Frax community, they might remember Bunny from early January, February. Their Bunny is built on Uniswap, and back then volume was crazy high on frxUSDC on Uniswap, and we ourselves were using Bunny since the beginning. And we saw this opportunity of building the Convex layer on Bunny, which we now have done. We are live since now 1 month approximately. And there are some really, really interesting Frax pools on Liquis, which would love to talk about today.
Yeah, let's get into it. So, what are the Frax pools? What's the nature of them, and like what are its kind of numbers are behind them?
Yeah, so in basic terms, as I said before, Liquis is the convex of Bunny. Bunny is basically they basically built the curve tokenomics on top of Uniswap. So all the pools that you will see on Liquis and also on Bunny are in the background built on top of Uniswap v3. So they have concentrated liquidity. You have one pool, the largest Frax pool right now is frxETH, right? frxETH wrapped ETH. It's currently paying 45% APR at 150K TVL. You will see if you go to the APR breakdown that it's partly boosted oLIT, so that's the emission token of Bunny, and part LIC, which is the governance token of Liquis. Besides the frxETH pool, you have frxUSDC also sitting at around 26% APR, and these two are the most important ones. You have uLETH, frxETH as well. You have one Frax PAL. Yeah, so you have a few Frax pools actually, but these two are the most important ones. And don't forget about the Frax USD, the Alchemix USD. That's actually the largest pool on Liquis right now at 400K TVL with 23% APR.
Oh, 23%. So how big is that pool right now? You said 400?
400K, yeah.
Okay, nice, nice. And with Liquis, it's the convex of Bunny. So I'm curious, are you guys a fork? What did you guys change when you fork Convex? Did you change anything at all? Are you a friendly fork, or like what is it? What are the mechanics of
Yeah.
Liquis itself?
So basically, we're a friendly fork of Aura,
Mm-hmm.
which is a fork of Convex. So it's the same code base. One of the biggest flaws that we saw in Bunny, especially while using it ourselves, was the user experience around oLIT. So for those who don't know, on Bunny, you don't farm the governance token, which is lit. You farm an option to buy the governance token at a discount, at a 50% discount. It's a very, very interesting tokenomic tweak. And I have the feeling that it's going to be integrated by a lot more protocols over the next coming months, because now you don't have this farm and dump mechanism, but basically when people decide to farm and dump, they have to bring something in exchange. So Bunny is building up a really nice treasury of ETH, and they are using that ETH to incentivize people who lock the lit token. So this means that since Liquis is the liquid wrapper of Bunny, I mean the main functionality of Convex, besides just boosting yields, I mean that's what retail sees. They just see, hey, I can boost my yield. But at the end, what's super interesting is that on Convex, you finally had a place where you can put your CRV without having to lock them for 4 years, and that's great. A lot of people did that. They wanted to get the protocol fees that they distribute to VECRV. And besides the protocol revenue, Bunny distributes all this ETH that they accumulate. So if you lock the lit token for 4 years, you can earn a up to 50-60%. It was already at 100% real yield APR in ETH, so paid out in ETH. And that's super interesting, that now you can access this yield without having to lock for 4 years. So everything surrounding Bunny and now Liquis has really, really interesting tweaks to it, things that have been changed. And one of the reasons why we launched Liquis was not only because it's a logical next step for this ecosystem to have this convex layer, but also to improve user experience. So on Liquis, you don't need to claim these oLIT, you don't need to exercise the option to get to the governance token that you can then sell. But on Liquis, all of this happens automatically. So we're working with flash loans in the background that automatically exercise the options, so the user has the cleanest experience that he can have.
I've heard of this concept before, farming an option or having options integrated in farming somehow, but I haven't really seen it in practice. I've just really seen it talked about. Can we go into more about how oLIT works into lit? Like, is there like an expiration? Like, how does it work?
Yeah, so basically you're providing liquidity
Mm-hmm.
on Bunny or on Liquis, which then ends up on Uniswap. And you earn this oLIT. So you can claim oLIT. And this oLIT you need to bring to the Bunny UI. On the Bunny UI, there is a section called oLIT, and there you can pair oLIT with wrapped ETH, which is basically buying lit at a discount. So you're converting oLIT plus ETH, and you receive lit. And these lits then you can sell them or you can lock them to get VE lit. You can do whatever you want, but there is this step in the middle which allows the protocol to extract value, right? To gain value, which with this value, this the Bunny or any protocol that integrates this feature can use to incentivize other people, right? To incentivize whatever they want. But it also introduces friction. I mean, not everyone wants to
Yeah.
pair their farming token with ETH to get the real deal, and then having to further do stuff with it. So it's like it's a double-edged sword. It's really nice for a protocol to build up ETH, which they can use to incentivize whatever they want, but it also introduces friction.
So I farm oLIT, I pair it with ETH, and then I have this LP token which I exchange for the lit token at a discount.
You have this oLIT, and then in the UI you click on the box with oLIT. You click on max, obviously, and then it says how many wrapped ETH you have to bring to receive the same amount in lit, and then you're basically converting oLIT plus ETH into the real deal, which is lit.
Okay, I understand. Okay, and
Exactly.
so where can people find the UI if they want to start doing this and earning a boosted yield on their
Yeah. So
Bunny?
the nice thing here is that thanks to Liquis, you don't need to go through Bunny again. You don't need to go through this option exercising stuff anymore. You can just go to liquis.app, and then you will find the Frax pools, and you can farm. So to come back to it, you're farming, you're earning swap fees from Uniswap, right? They are automatically compounded. You're earning this oLIT, which you don't have to convert anymore. It happens automatically for you. And you're earning LIC, the Liquis governance token. Right now, emissions are high. Emissions are similar or the same as they happened with Convex. So every time Convex earns a CRV or distributes a CRV, they mint a number of CVX on top. And it works the same way. Whenever Liquis earns a oLIT, a LIC is minted on top. And what can you do with these LIC? You can lock it away, same like with Convex. You can lock it away for 16 weeks. And currently, the APR on locking it is over 100%. The APR is platform revenue that is generated. It's 100% of the platform revenue that's forwarded to VL LIC, same like VL CVX. You can lock it away. And then the cool thing is, if you want to really participate in this flywheel effect and also help Frax build up more concentrated liquidity on Uniswap to not be so focused and so heavy reliant on Curve, because you never know what's going to happen, right? I mean, Uniswap is the one biggest player, the one big player that now also Lido is relying more and more on. So Uniswap is coming back, and it's great to help Frax build more liquidity there. So what you can do with all the lick that you farmed, you can lock them. You can earn a nice 100% APR in not more lick, obviously, but in oLIT. Then you will earn oLIT because that's what Liquis earns. And you can then participate in a bribing market, right? So you can bribe on hidden hand, you can vote on hidden hand and earn bribes. So Frax and other players obviously are participating in the bribe market, which just today it launched on Hidden Hand. Before it was on Paladin. So yeah. Thanks to your votes, you can earn the bribes, and you can also help Frax get more emissions.
Liquis Scholar, thank you so much for joining us, and everyone that's Liquis. Yes, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks, man.
Ciao.